Ladies and creatures and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast show for the average Joe. This is the Wrestling Diaries. I'm your host, Mitchell Rulane. Check us out on YouTube for the video content. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell right there for more content we release once a week. Our audio streams go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Overcast. That was the other one. And there's one more. I can't remember. I keep saying I'm going to do the list, but I'm not going to do the list. I'm just going to say I am, and people will hear me say it, and that will be it. Just words coming out of my mouth. Today, I have a guest on by the name of, here we go, drum roll, Emily, the mountain lioness Sheppard. And the crowd goes wild. She's coming out for entrance music. I don't know what that would be. Hey, Emily.
Hi.
I do that now. This is like a shtick for me because everybody always assumes that this show, right off the bat, is about wrestling. And it's not. Well, not like professional wrestling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do that, as like a funny little gimmick. I was texting a guy the other day, and he was like, so your podcast, it's the wrestling guy? Like, so what's it about? And I was like, we're just going to come on and talk about Hulk Hogan, brother. And then he was like, oh, okay. I was like, no, man, about the things you wrestle with in life, like what is it, Gilgamesh in the forest, wrestling the lion and then beheading it and wearing it as as a trophy of honor. Anyway, sorry. So tell everybody listening a little bit about yourself. Well, I'll give a quick discography. We have a mutual friend. You are the roommates with Taylor, which is a good friend of mine, and she's like my best friend Giorgio's girlfriend. And so we met through that channel, and you like climb rocks and go to mass on Sundays.
Yeah.
So what else makes you tick?
Let's see. During the week, I guess I'm a nanny as well as Taylor. Pretty much got it. My faith is really important to me, and climbing and my kids.
The kids that you watch. So what's the deal with like how did you get into like rock climbing, mountain climbing, bouldering, whatever they call it?
The first time I went climbing was at Horsepen's 40, outside bouldering, just messing around.
Mm-hmm.
And then later I got into the gym and then ropes and everything.
This place that you're talking about, where is it for people wondering?
It's in northern Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot what city it's in, but it's about an hour and 30 minutes north, and it's actually like one of the best bouldering spots in the US, like one of the top 4, so it's really cool.
Yeah. So did somebody like got you into it, or you're just like, I'd like to give this the old college try and just start climbing things? Did you climb a lot of things when you were a little girl?
Yeah, so I have all brothers, and so it was a lot of playing outside and climbing trees and rocks and stuff. Okay. So I did take my brother out there. It was a good time. What
do you get out of like the climbing? Is there some kind of like adrenaline rush? Is there some kind of like euphoria? Like, like people that like race, they like that adrenaline. Is that what you get out of it? The excitement, the adventure, the danger?
Yeah, it kind of like numbs you when you're on the wall. Like you don't think about anything. I feel like when I'm climbing ropes, at least. You go through a point where you're like, oh, this is really scary. And then it comes like a dance, kind of like peaceful.
Yeah. How long have you been climbing now?
I would say seriously, like a little over a year.
Oh, wow. So. See, I'm thinking like you've been doing this for, I don't know, like 3-4 years or something like that.
I mean, the first time I had climbed was a while ago, but since I've actually been like working on it and climbing frequently about 1.5 years ago.
Do you have like any specific goals for things that you want to do in climbing, like a certain place, a certain hill or mountain or state, or anywhere you want to climb the Rockies or anything like that?
I would really like to do a multi-pitch, which is just a really high climb. It's kind of got a lot of gear involved and a little bit more advanced, so that would be really fun. Or climbing in Moab is kind of a dream.
Moab, where's that?
Utah.
Oh, okay. Nice. Have you ever been out west in those areas where there's a lot of like mountain climbing stuff?
My best friend, she lives in California, so we've been out there a little bit, but I wouldn't say I haven't climbed out west at all.
But you would probably like to.
I would love to.
Like that's on the old bucket list.
Yes.
Cool.
But climbing in the southeast is where it's at.
Yeah, it's funny because I've known a couple people that have done it just in passing, not like a serious thing, kind of like you do, and your friends and people in your circle. And like when I kind of research it, it's like a whole culture. It's like a community of people that climb, and there's like just all kinds of different things. And I was like, wow, this is very interesting. And yeah, I don't know. I've tried it before. I'm not very. I don't know if I can say I'm not very good at it because I just did it and I liked it, but I didn't stick with it and stuff like that. But I like the idea of it. It's great. It's great work for the body, great natural work. You're like pulling yourself up, and somebody was telling me like the concept of it is just like you're climbing is just to stand up or something like that. And I was like, what does that mean? Stand up? I don't quite get that, but yeah, I don't know. I've done like the rock walls and stuff in like Birmingham and all that, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's just not my forte. What do you think your favorite thing about climbing is? Like your number one thing? Have you had to write it on a t-shirt?
On a t-shirt?
Yeah, or put it in your memoirs or something like that. What would it be?
I really like crimps, like the smaller holds that your fingertips can kind of only touch, and slab, so like flat wall, not too much overhang.
What's your biggest accomplishment in climbing thus far? And I just, for the record, I don't know anything about this. So whatever you say, whether you think it's good or not good, like I don't know anyway. So I'm just learning about this. That's another reason why I wanted you on the show, because I was like, I don't know anybody like closely enough to ask a lot of questions about this, because it definitely intrigues me and all that.
I've definitely grown a lot in my climbing ability, but I think a few months ago I had I guess it was like a year ago, I had an accident where I hurt both my ankles on a climb called Misty at Sandrock. And then like I've been trying to work my confidence back up outside climbing, and I finally feel like I'm back. So I'd say that's like a big thing for me.
Yeah, like a big booster. How did you hurt your ankles, if I can ask?
I had climbed above the clip, or the anchor where I was supposed to clip. So I was probably like 10 feet above where my last quick draw was, where the rope would have caught me.
Okay.
And I just fell really far, really hard. And it kind of felt like the speed of a car accident type fear. Yeah, it was really scary.
I bet you had like all this adrenaline pumping in your body and this cortisol, the stress.
Yeah, somebody had to like carry me out. It was, kind of ridiculous.
That didn't make you want to stop though. Have you sustained any other injuries besides that one, or is that like the worst one?
Yeah, that was the worst.
Or maybe you said that was the worst one earlier.
Nothing else has really happened.
That's good. How long do you think you're going to keep doing this?
Well, I plan to have kids one day. So
you think after you have kids, you probably won't, maybe?
No, I mean, they make pregnancy harnesses, but I think it'll be a little bit harder. I don't know. I mean, hopefully for a really long time.
You ever thought about wanting to do it? Like, I don't know if this is, I imagine it is, because you can literally do anything for a living. Did you ever think about like how, like, would you ever want to do this as a career, as a job? I don't know how that would work. Like I said, I don't know anything about this world, but
I don't know.
I imagine like if you're well known, you get like sponsors or something like that. I guess.
I don't know if I would ever be like qualify for that, but it would be really cool to make it a large part of my life.
Why don't you think you'd be qualified? Huh? You have more faith in yourself, right? You can do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to, Emily. Yeah,
if the opportunity ever like arose, it would be really cool.
Okay. Well, outside of climbing, what are your other aspirations for life? Like you're a nanny. That's what you do for a living and stuff. Do you have any other goals for things that you would like to do?
Yes. So in May is kind of when I told my family that I work for now that, I'm going to move on to the next thing. And I was kind of planning to through hike the Appalachian Trail, and that's like the next step.
Through hike? What is that?
Just start and like go all the way through, no stop. So it'll take like 5 months.
Whoa.
Just out there.
You're going to go with some friends, or you're her boyfriend, right, Jim? Yes. Okay. If anybody's wondering, it's once again, she has somebody, I'm looking over here. People think I'm crazy when I'm like looking over and talking to somebody else. But is he going with you? Family members, friends? Like, are you just...
Yeah, it would be really cool. Jim and I have talked about like him coming with me, or my friend Hannah. She just recently moved up to Birmingham, and if she could come as well, that'd be awesome. The more the merrier. I mean.
Yeah, and for anybody wondering, Jim, her boyfriend, who's off screen right now, he climbs also. Quite a bit. Well, that's really cool. I hope it goes really well for you. That's super awesome.
Thank you.
Getting out in the wilderness. Have you ever read the book or watched that movie Into the Wild?
Yes.
God, it's so fantastic. It's so fantastic. So fantastic. Like, I read the book and then I watched the movie. Emil Hirsch, first of all, he's an excellent actor. And when I found out he was playing the protagonist character, I was like, oh, it's just such a good movie about freedom and excitement, adventure and life and death. And just, I love it. So good.
Freedom is something that's really important to me, and like independence.
Yeah.
And
the fact that what's interesting is like he had the balls to do stuff that like the majority of us would not, right? Like he was very well versed in education. He had an excellent opportunity to go above and beyond with his curriculum and school to get a really good job and go to a great college and all these things, all the stuff his parents wanted him to do. They'd be super proud of him. And then he was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Like, F this. Like, I can do this, but I don't want to. And he cut up his credit cards and just left. I was like, I just love that, man. I just love the extreme freedom and you know, the philosophy of that story, which is a real story. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's really good.
I really take a lot of pride in like being authentic and living like your happy life, and that definition's different for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like as long as your happiness and joy comes and it's just, and you know, you're not like hurting someone else, and yeah, absolutely. I almost feel like you're adding value back to the world to live your life more happy, right? It's like that person that works at like McDonald's. And like, what do you want? Number one? All right. Like, that person's not happy. They're not giving anything. They're not giving value to the world. They're not happy. So they're taking away from the world, if anything. You know, so you got to do what makes you happy. I think that's what makes the world go round. As cheesy as that sounds.
Yeah, but everybody does have an opportunity or like something special inside of them to be in a certain place and say things like, I used to work a drive-through at the pharmacy, and I would try to make everybody leave super happy or like make them feel special or, you know, their day better.
That's good. My friend Rain, she's a strength coach, and she's trying to run her own podcast. She does a bunch of different things. She's a Jane of all trades, but she's always says when she goes out to public and she sees somebody with like a bad attitude, or she's at a restaurant or whatever, it's her job to try to make them laugh or giggle or something, because she wants to hack them. She wants to ruin their day by making them happy because they're so miserable. I was like, that's excellent, right? Do what you do. So when this is going to be in May, this expedition that you're trying to go on, and how certain are you that you're going to do it? Like, you're 100% in, or 80%, 90%?
It's what I'm doing, but I have not planned accordingly yet. So, but that's kind of how things work out for me. I just set a date for when I'm going to do it, and then it just, you know, I make it happen.
Nice.
It's kind of like moving here was.
And you said that's going to be 5 months of doing that? Wow, what do your parents think of that? Are they like, Emily, I know you like climbing, but come on.
Yeah. My mom doesn't love it.
Yeah. None of it? Like, yeah. Oh, I don't want you to break your neck, baby.
Yeah, she thinks it's really dangerous.
You have all these calluses on your hand like a boy. I'm kidding, Mom. You're looking out for your little girl. That's good.
But she always feels like everything I'm doing is too ambitious, and she just loves me and worries about me.
Me and Matt actually had this talk one time, but like what I've learned in life is that like I've always been very analytical. Like I've always prided myself in being a realist. Right? I'm very logical. I'm very mathematic about things. And then you take someone who's like idealistic, who just kind of like, they just do things. They don't really calculate it and all that stuff. And sometimes they get punched in the face and they eat a sandwich because of it. But what I realized, I feel there's actually, I think, a statistic that I had found when I was just like digging into this, but like if you took like the person who's more realistic about life, right? They're more structured. They understand what's going on. They get the math of life and environments and people and blah, blah, blah. And then you take the idealist who's just like, oh, butterflies and I'm trying to reach to heaven. Actually, the idealist reaches like goals in life and success. They have more success per capita than the realist does, right?
I believe that, yeah.
And the realists are people that are, generally speaking, end up being leaders just because they have really great sight for things. But the idealist is the one that really takes their life in the direction they want to go more often than not than the realist person. And the only problem with the trade-off is if you're too idealistic, then sometimes, I feel like the best risk is calculated risk, right? And Matt was making a good point. He was like, well, I feel like, being a little bit of both is probably the sweet spot. And I was like, amen, brother. That's it.
I definitely
Life is about balance. Where's my yin yang? There it is. It's about balance.
I dream way too much. And I don't know if anything's really logical, but then it happens and then it's pretty awesome.
That's great. What do you dream about? What are some of the other things you dream about? I just put her on the spot.
I'm like always daydreaming. Just really want life to be full of adventure, and I like to think about all the different possibilities and the places I could live and the people I could meet and the things I could be doing. And
where do you want to live? You want to live in Alabama? Birmingham?
Birmingham's awesome. Love Birmingham. But I would really like to go to Utah next or anywhere. I just like moving and doing new things.
You personally would really love Alaska. I have a friend who literally, Brenda, if you're listening to this episode, shout out, honey. She lived here in Birmingham, and she was like a life coach, and then she did fostering for kids, foster home. And then her and her husband were just like, boom, we're going to up and leave. We're going to Alaska. They're not moving to like another town in Birmingham. They're not moving to Georgia. They went to Alaska, right? And like she posts all these pictures all the time on her social media, and she talks stories about the things she sees and does, and it's just like, wow, the great unknown wilderness out there.
Alaska's beautiful.
Have you been?
No, that would be a dream.
Yeah. Not where else? Where else would you like to go? I feel like Iceland would be another great place for you. There's a lot of wilderness out there, and the Aurora Borealis is in plain sight.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah.
Canada.
Like Banff National Forest.
Okay.
Or like mountain biking in Canada.
What about Yellowstone?
That would be really cool
You
too.
didn't want to do that. That's so cool, man. Is there anything? So you're kind of like this very free-spirited, almost hippie-ish type of person. Is there any, based on the stuff that you like doing and how you are, is there anything that you deviate from that if somebody found out, they'd be like, oh, that's weird that she likes that or does that based on how she is?
Definitely my faith.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like in most of my friend groups or the environments I'm in, it's just kind of unconventional that I am a Christian.
Really? Do you get a lot of flack for that? Are they like, oh, what are you this imaginary guy, you're worshiping Santa Claus. What's wrong with you?
Sometimes I feel like
dumb. The science isn't there.
People aren't like super mean about it, but sometimes like I just kind of know where they stand or they make comments. A lot of my friends aren't Christians as well, like my close friends, and they respect it, but
yeah, I get it. I'm a person of faith, I guess. Ooh, that's gonna make some people mad. Yeah, and I have a very diverse group of friends. Like my mom basically grew up as borderline Catholic / Buddhist.
Wow.
Because she's from another country. She's from Vietnam. And so she grew up, in Vietnam, and Buddhism is the main staple for religious practice. Although, based on I've studied a lot into Buddhism. I almost feel like it's not even necessarily a religion. I mean, it is. I feel like it's just more like philosophy for life,
Like a spiritual practice.
Yeah. It's just, it's just what it is. But yeah, my mom grew up, in Buddhism, and then there was Catholic missionaries and stuff setting up churches and stuff there. So she got into to that. So she just, me growing up, that's kind of the impression of spiritualism and religion that I had is Buddhism and Catholicism. Of course, I never, I don't go to like Catholic churches. I've been to mass and, did all that stuff. But does that bother you that you, doesn't it say that, what is it? You shouldn't be unevenly yoked or something like that? Yoking yourself with all these non-believers.
It doesn't necessarily bother me. It just feels like there's a lot of pressure to set a good example or like display my faith well.
Sure.
So there's that.
I have a diverse group of friends. Like I was saying, I have friends that are most of them are probably Christian, and then I have friends that are atheists, like hardcore. And then I have agnostic friends, and then I have I think Clint's kind of a Buddhist. He's like a martial artist and stuff. And then my mom is just all over the place. And I love the dynamic there, right? Like I have my faith and I attach myself to it, and we can have civil discourse about it. But either way, like it's just, I was having this conversation with somebody. And I was like, it's just what I believe in, and like we just have different. Like someone can say that it's not factual or something, but I mean, there's the way you perceive things in your mind is just the way you perceive them, and who knows who's right. I'll tell you one thing. I read Albert Einstein's Autobiography, which is a huge book. Unless you really, really love reading, I wouldn't recommend it because it's like longer than the Bible, but it's really great. And he was a professed atheist initially. Well, I say initially, but I mean, Anyway, he in his later years after he moved to the United States and he created the A-bomb and all that other stuff, in some of his notes in his underline, he wrote in his diary about how, as he studied the stars and he studied physics and all these things, that he said it started becoming more apparent to him that it was really, really, really hard for him to deny that there's some form of central consciousness. And he was like, and why he says this is because everything he observes all falls into the category of harmony. No matter how much chaos happened, everything reverts back to harmony, right? The sun, rises in the east, sets in the west, and it always does that. And like the earth is just close enough to the sun to warm and give life, but not burn everything up, and not too far away that it freezes to death. And he was like, this harmony that he sees made it really hard for him to deny that there's some form of central intelligent consciousness that interweaves everything together by design and by purpose. Like he said this in his actual notes. And I was like, damn. I was like, I didn't realize this. And he was like, now, what is it? Is it the God of the Bible? Is it, is it multiple deities? He's like, I don't know. He's like, that's not for me to decide. He's like, I don't know. He's like, but like, I just feel like there's too much complexity. There's too much harmony for things to just be by chance. And I was reading this and it was profound. I was like, wow, I didn't think I was going to get this out of this book. I just wanted to read, I'm really weird and I like nerdy stuff from physics and biology and even stuff that I don't want to say it's useless information, but I mean, I'm not making millions of dollars off of it. So I just read a bunch of stuff. But yeah, he said that. And I was like, damn, that was very insightful coming from Mr. Albert Einstein. But anyway, sorry, I just went off on a long tangent.
Yeah.
Stealing your thunder here.
There was a point where I considered myself an atheist for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like on my worst days, I'm like borderline agnostic. I don't feel like I could never just not believe in anything. Because I've had some weird experiences in life, right? They're unexplainable. Like I can't explain it. And people can think I'm crazy or whatever. That's fine. But, so, well, how about that? Where do you, how important is your faith to you? How important is it? What if somebody was like, hey, I'm not going to be your friend anymore if you don't stop believing in this imaginary guy with beard and a dress in the sky? It's dumb. You're dumb. What would you say to him? Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely claim it as my identity and the most important thing about me.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. It's good to stand behind what you believe in, I feel like.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is.
I mean, if my mom disowned me or, I lost everything in my life, that'd be okay too.
Look at you. You're a glass half full kind of gal, huh? A little optimism goes a long, long way. So your expedition out in the Appalachians that you're planning for May, afterwards, after that 5 months, after that almost half a year of just adventuring and doing all this stuff, what does it look like after that? Do you have plans after that? Are you not thinking that far ahead? Or
I have some vague ideas.
yeah, shoot them this way. Let's hear them.
So I'm probably going to go home and spend some time with my family, just because I could.
Sure.
And then search for a new job, hopefully in a cool place.
Yeah.
My brother's also moving to Italy, so
Oh wow.
maybe I can go visit him and
I gotta
climb
ask,
out there.
why is your brother moving to Italy?
He's in the army.
Okay.
So
Okay. Interesting.
pretty exciting.
Let me ask this question: is your mom, your dad in the military?
Both my parents were.
Boom, knew it. My mom was in the military.
Wow.
Yeah. She was in the well, she's Vietnamese. She was in the and just for anybody listening, she wasn't in the Viet Cong. She was in the Southern Vietnamese sect that fought with the Americans against the Viet Cong for nothing. And yeah, she did that. She's a military person. And then she met her American Green Beret husband. Long story short, came to the good old US of A.
That's awesome.
No, it's funny though. Like I flirted around with joining the military, but it's just, I don't know. I just didn't end up getting into it.
Me too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
kind of my plan, but there's been a million plans, and now I'm here. So that's the beauty of it.
That is awesome. Emily, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Why? Why is green your favorite color? Because it's earthy. It reminds you of the great earth, the great...
Everything good is green.
Everything good is green. Not toxic slime. Unless it turns into a superhero.
This is true.
You ever watch... You don't watch Family Guy, do you?
I've seen a few episodes.
There's an episode where Peter, he's like, oh yeah, it's like this toxic waste. It's fine. It gives you superpowers. Don't you read the comic books? And then it shows him like rolling around in this like green toxic waste. And then the next scene is his doctor's like, Mr. Griffin, you have lymphoma.
Makes me think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you like TMD. Up high. Boom. Wait, which one though? What do you like? You don't like the new Michael Bay movies, do
The
you?
classic movie. I used to watch it on my little Disney TV.
Bro, those are, they shaped my life. They were the reason why when I was like 5 years old and I was like pre-K and we had this thing, it was like, write what you want to be when you grow up. And you had kids doing the classic answers, doctor, astronaut, police officer, firefighter, the classics. And then mine was pizza delivery boy. And I remember my brother being like, you idiot. He literally said this, like, a perfect quote. Michael, you. He goes, dude, he's like, what an idiot, man. Like a pizza, you're not going to make real money doing that. Why would you even want to do that? I was like, well, because first of all, because I love pizza. It's my favorite food. And the Ninja Turtles like it. And then maybe I'll get a delivery order from them. Yeah, well, I ended up doing that at some point. And
Really?
yeah, I was like, look at this. It's me living my 5-year-old's dream fantasy. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do when I was a little boy. At that stage, it changed later. To do other things, but
That's how I sleep at night, knowing that 12-year-old me would be really happy with myself.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man, that's so good. I'm so crazy that you like that. Because aren't you like 18 or 19?
I'm going to be 21 at the end of this month.
My bad, sorry.
It's okay.
Well, actually, it's good because you're a lady, right? You ladies like being younger than what you are, right? Isn't that a thing? I don't know.
Right.
It's
not like we're respected at any age, right?
Right, we're not. What is your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Donatello.
Why? Is he smart? Get out of here. I like Raphael or Mikey just because there's. I like Raphael because I feel like I relate to him, man. He's just overly passionate and impulsive, and he's misunderstood. But then Mikey's a party animal. I don't know.
Yeah, he's pretty happy.
I have to flip a coin on those two.
There's a new exhibit at the McWayne Center, and it's all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You're going to have to check it out.
Get the F out of here.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Gosh, it makes me want to go right now. I love
None of the kids were freaking out about it, but
I love Ninja
all the parents were like, oh my gosh.
So mine, me and Matt had some friends of ours. Matt, you know the story. Dan and our late friend Scott, they were in this hardcore punk band. What was the name of that band? Bloodlines? Yeah, Bloodlines. And they had, you know, some bands have like inserts from movies and whatnot, you know, in their audio. And one of their songs opened up with the speech that Shredder gives in the first one. He's like, "You are here because the outside world rejects you." And it just goes into and
That sounds awesome.
thrashy punk stuff. A lot of people don't like that crap.
I love that.
I grew up on that, man. Me and Matt, we used to go to these punk rock shows and mosh and fight and steal and do all that good foolishness, man. Very volatile young men. Yeah. God, I love it. I feel like we should be BFFs. Did you like Ninja Turtles? I'm so blown. I've had over 70 guests on the show since I've been doing it. And you and this other guy named Corey's this really big, imposing, scary black guy. He's super cool that I used to work with. He loves Ninja Turtles. Him and you. That's it. Nobody. Everybody else is like, what?
Man, I used to have like a backpack that was a giant
kids.
turtle shell.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I have a Ninja Turtle action figure sitting in my car right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
He's not kidding.
put it in there. It's in there. Maybe it's in there. I don't know. Maybe Shy might have taken it out for my, I don't know. Yes. That's awesome.
I don't know how we got on that.
Is this weird to you, Jim? We're sitting here talking about Ninja Turtles, bro.
We all did.
Oh.
I recently found out there's like a crossover movie or episode of Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know this?
No.
Yeah.
Whoa. How do I consume this? I want this in my brain right now.
There's like a poster. I looked it up and there was a poster for sale of them like shaking hands.
There-
What?
There is a cartoon crossover of Ninja Turtles and Batman. Did you see that? It's like an animated movie that they released. That one's really good.
I would like that.
Yeah, you should check that out. Watching Batman and Shredder go at it, doing their like ninjutsu fighting and stuff. It's awesome, man. That's what got me into martial arts too, is Ninja Turtles. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I want to learn karate, even though that's technically not what they're doing. Yeah. Look at us just going off on Ninja Turtles. I love stuff like that, man. I'm a huge nerd. I grew up on comic books and stuff like that, and I think it's so funny because now they make, you know, there's like a movie, like, I don't know, 10 movies a year on it. And when I was a little boy, I could only imagine that happening. And now that it's happening, it's just so funny. I see all these posers with their shirts, and I was like, you don't even know. You just watching the movies, that's cool. You're just a bandwagon fan, though. I've been reading the literature for years. Comic books are kind of like my junk. I'm a huge reader, just so you know. If you ever go to my house, I've got this bookshelf, tons of stuff. I have my philosophy and poetry. I've got health and wellness. I've got autobiographies, like I told you, with Albert and other people that I really, really like. And then I have, in the middle is nothing but graphic novels and comic books. And I feel like that's like my junk food, you know. It's my cheeseburgers and nachos and milkshakes and all that. It's really good. I used to manage a doctor's office once upon a time, and one of my professional friends had came over for something, and he was like, yeah, this is a really good. He was like looking at some of my books on physics, and he was like, this is good. Is this Spider-Man? And I was like, yeah, man, it's Craven's Last Kill, man. It's a really good one. It's dark. And he's like, what? He's like, you've got a lot of this. He's like, I'm going to say, I'm shocked, Mitchell. I didn't know you'd like this kind of stuff. I thought you were more into like intellectual things. And I was like, what? This guy just comes into my house and disrespects me like that? I was like, first of all, man, I was like, in comic books, it's not just children's coloring books. There's like really, depending on the author, there's really great like narratives that play out, really great stories and things that are, you know, make you think and make you imagine. I was like, I feel like it's some of the greatest art that man's ever created, next to like music and painting and stuff like that. Like, to me, comic books is like our generation's, or this generation's rather, Greek mythology, right? It's more than just like guys in spandex and all this other stuff. There's triumph and tragedy and comedy and, you know, those kind of things. There's a lot of social, like in the 60s, Stan Lee, I mean, he really took it to the next level. You know? A lot of people don't realize that X-Men was about segregation, right? Everybody hates the mutants.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be like black people, you know. And then Professor Xavier, who believed that the mutants and humans could live in peace and harmony together in brotherhood was Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh,
And
wow.
Magneto, Eric Lyncher, who was friends with Charles, but they saw different viewpoints. He felt that the mutants were superior and they were better, and that's where they were hated, and they should take over and they should dominate, like Malcolm X. And so a lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
And so, you know,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Cool.
and then, you know, like the concept of Spider-Man was like the every person and how they can feel strong and great, and anybody can have this power, but you have to be responsible with it. And it's just there's a lot of depth to it. So people that don't like comic books, kiss my buns.
It's actually really funny you say that because, I mean, when I was younger, I really liked comic books, but I think it was because I was just trying to like collect more than my brothers.
Oh, really?
But
Nice. You're competing. I've got more issues than you do, doo-doo head.
I've got an original, you know.
Mine has holographic on it.
That was how we were.
Yeah.
But now, like, I was reading a lot. I got kind of busy, but I fell in love with reading children's novels.
Oh, word.
And like, for the same reason, just like the ability to imagine. It's all the way it's worded.
Yeah.
Really allows you to picture things.
I read The Giving Tree like several times a month. I do. I love that book. The first time I ever read it when I was a kid, it made me cry. And the first time I got it as an adult and I read it again, it had been years since I read it. It made me cry again. Love that book.
I don't think I've ever read it.
The Giving Tree? Oh,
Okay, I need to read
I need
it.
to get on that, man. It's one of the greatest children's books of all time. And I'm not just saying this is my opinion, but also, yes, the stats. It's one of the top selling children's books of all time.
Wow.
The Giving Tree. And then Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh, yeah.
Love that one. It's classic. So, Miss Emily Sheppard, have you enjoyed being on here?
Yeah, this is fun.
Your
This is
stress
good.
has melted away. See, I told you.
I'm not stressed.
No, not stressed, but you were a little nervous. You were a little nervous. And now you're talking about Ninja Turtles and the Giving Tree and all this stuff. You're doing good. You're doing well. I'm so glad. What intrigued you to want to be on the show? You said you've never done any kind of media or anything like this before. Why did you want to come on my show? I'm curious.
Well, meeting you, you're a great conversationalist, and
Thank you very much.
yeah, I thought it would be
appreciate
good fun. Taylor seems to talk really highly about your show, and I've seen a few, so it's been cool.
Nice. Well, that makes me really, really happy. Jim, you should probably come on here sometime, bro. So now I'm going to try to take it a little bit deeper, if I may, and ask you about the things that you struggle with in your life, right? What do you wrestle with? That's the point of the show. What do people in regular, everyday society struggle with? What are the demons in your closet and the monsters under your bed that you fight with? What's your supervillain? Your Lex Luthor to your Superman, your Joker to your Batman, your Shredder to your Ninja Turtles. What do you wrestle with?
Well, we touched on, me being a little idealistic.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggle a lot with just kind of being delusional or like understanding what reality really is. And so I'll go through a period of time where I'm super euphoric and idealistic about my life and the future. And then one day I'll wake up and feel like the filter was taken away and, things seem really real and dark and ugly. And then I start to like, the sky's just not blue and it's hard to get dressed and like want to do the things I usually do. And it's just kind of, like, dang, have I been, imagining that this is all different? Or it's like my perspective, it just changes and it ebbs and flows. So now it's a little bit more comfortable, but it causes a lot of doubt. Like for May, that's something I want to do.
Yeah.
But I worry that things aren't going to happen or, like one day it just like won't, I don't know.
So it
just inconsistency.
It just comes in spurts, like randomly then, right?
Yeah.
How long have you dealt with that? Like, how long has that been a thing in your life that you struggle with?
Probably for like 5 years.
Do you think was it brought on by some trauma in your life or anything like that? Sometimes things like that can trigger those things.
Probably.
Probably. Okay. This is one of those things you want to talk about. I gotcha. So what do you think? What do you think you can do that lightens the load, or what do you do maybe that lightens the load, or do you have good support? A lot of people know that you struggle with that, and they got your back. They hold your hand and
yeah. I think the
carry you
people
along.
closest to me kind of understand how I am as a person, that I'll be super excited and like stoked on something, and then they'll be there to listen when I'm like, wait, is this right? Am I doing this thing right? You know?
Yeah.
So I keep my circle pretty small. Really small.
Tupac Shakur said the realest of people don't have a lot of friends. So there's a reason behind that.
I feel like I have really deep relationships with the people I do like have around me.
Yeah, it's really important. I'm a very particular person about people. Essentially, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like when I meet somebody, and I'm like hyper observant, almost to a fault, like to the point where it's almost like hell in my head sometimes. But when somebody opens their mouth, maybe this is part of the reason why people think I'm a great conversationalist. I don't know. That's not up for me to decide. But when somebody opens their mouth and like the first paragraph that comes out, I'm like, oh, she's like this, he's like that. And I feel like the times I've been accurate, like if I had to do a spreadsheet on it, right? Because I'm a realist, I'm all about math and analytics.
Hate spreadsheets.
I would be batting probably in the 80 percentile. And it's something I've always done throughout my life since I was a little boy. I'm like, oh, this person's like that. And yeah. I forgot where I was going with this. I don't know. I'm having a brain.
I try really hard not to like have preconceived notions about people or like make, judgments like from the first impression.
Yeah.
But more so just like who sticks around and like how they act, what they're there for, really. Yeah.
So I guess what my point is that like if you have like a small circle of people that you trust through and through, right? Because I'm like, I stay in my own like chamber and I only open it for a specific amount of people. And I don't know, this can make me sound like a nihilist or narcissistic or whatever. I don't care though. I mean, it is what it is. And so like if I don't feel like close enough to you, then I don't care how much you love me or like me or want to be in my life. Like I don't, if you're not offering something to me that I feel that's useful to my head or my heart, then I don't really have anything. And some people take that as harsh, and I don't mean it that way. Like I love essentially just about everybody that I meet. Like I care for people, even people I don't know. Like I had to do this weird thing where I go into like restaurants and just watch people eat. And it sounds super creepy. Like anybody's watching this like, oh, shit, is Mitchell watching me eat? I don't want to watch me eat. But I watch it and I'm like, man, they're just surviving. They're just hungry and they're satiating this appetite for life. And it makes me care for them. It's weird. I've had this feeling since I was a little boy. But the people that I do let in, like those people, like I would fight and bleed for these people. I've fought and bled for these people that I care about. And I give them like, I don't know, the world. So I feel like if you have people like that, people that are real with you, then they deserve all the rewards in life that you can give them, right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's important because they're your support system, they're your foundation, they're your community. That's very important.
That's exactly how I would describe it.
Yeah. What else? Do you struggle with anything else? You wrestle with anything else? What are the things wrestle you down to the ground? Oh, there's something there. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, really just consistency.
What do you mean?
Like I'm never on time anywhere.
You were early today. You were here before me, but that's not
Jim
understanding.
drove.
Matt's rolling his eyes at me. Oh, okay. Hey, bless you, Jim.
That's a joke. I'm late everywhere I go to.
Me too. I am not a punctual person at all. I'm sorry. I used to be. My mom's in the military and she's Asian and she's from another country. So they're all about the honor system. Plus she's in the military. And then I met one of my best friends, Thomas, who's just super late, just whatever. And then from that point, I adopted that, and that's just what I do now. That's my life. So, stupid Thomas. But yeah, I get that, being consistent. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with, and also trying to be there, like not just consistency with just time, but with your environment and with people.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Being consistent with people. Like I do have friends and I do have people that depend on me, but sometimes I'm not always consistently there for them, and that's hurtful to me because I want them to know that I care, and I'm thinking it's just my own struggle, right? It's harder to save someone when you are fighting an enemy on your way to grab the person off of the ledge,
Exactly.
right? So
Yeah. I get really tired sometimes. And like I don't have the energy to give the people I love what I want to give them or serve them in the way I want to, or in my head that, ideally I could. And then I get really frustrated with myself.
do you think you've hurt a lot of people in that way? Not being as consistent or
I think there's potential for people to get hurt. Like people who are relying on me to protect them.
How does that make you feel?
Helpless.
When did the dreams start?
Yeah. For example, like my friend Hannah, she recently moved to Birmingham, and she's an addict, and she's requiring like a lot of my attention and time, and kind of like care and supervision. Just like tracking her down, make sure she's
why is it
safe.
Why is it important that, are you her only friend? Because I was going to ask, why is it important that you specifically are the one that has to hold her head up? Why is it you?
We've just been by each other's side for a long time.
Childhood friends?
Not really.
No?
No, we became friends like I don't know, a few years ago. We worked together, like the morning shift, so we talked a lot, and then we got really close, and we weren't even like in the same friend circles, but I feel like she knows me better than anyone else, and like likewise.
You feel like maybe this moral obligation to her?
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
help her? Do you think
I love her.
Would she do the same thing for you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She would kill somebody for me.
That's some strong love.
Yeah.
Some vicious love.
But sometimes I like run out of energy to love these people to the degree that I should, and I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Okay.
Hopefully things are okay.
That's the first time I've ever heard that, somebody running out of energy to love somebody. I'm not critiquing you in a bad way. I'm just saying
there's only so many spoons. You got like 5 spoons a day.
Yeah.
Use
I guess
2 for work.
People don't really think about you put physical efforts into things and you exhaust your muscles, fatigue them, lactic acid builds up, you can't move, blah, blah, blah. Nobody thinks about like the psychological and emotional
endurance.
Yeah, that you're putting into things and how that can be really heavy sometimes, Your cross is very heavy and the uphill walk is treacherous because you have the burdens of so many upon thee. I was talking to somebody about that last week, and they're like, well, I don't want to compare myself to Jesus. I was like, I'm not comparing you to Jesus. Which is a good analogy, I think.
Yeah. It makes
even
you
if you don't
wonder,
believe it. Even if you don't believe it. Because even if you don't believe it, it's fake. It's a fairy tale. The concept in the story, if it's a fairy tale, the fairy tale is that, he's going across and he's bearing the weight of pain and sin and all this from all these people. So just that is so heavy, right? And so I use that as a metaphor for people carrying their own cross. And this is regardless of what they believe in. It doesn't matter. It's a good analogy, I think, to use. So you seem like your cross is pretty heavy.
It's not too bad.
Not too bad?
Life's good. Life's good.
That's good.
Today.
So I today was an incident. So this is a new question I asked. I actually asked your pal Taylor. I think she might have been the first person I asked these new questions to. I have alternate questions. I ask people about telephone time machines and legacy and all these things. But and I like to leave it open just in case people don't want to talk about something specifically or it's too personal. I get it. Like I want to take people deep on the show and I want them to go deep. I don't want people if people don't want to go deep with me, don't ask to be on my show or don't accept my invitations, et cetera, et cetera. But there's certain things people don't want to share, right? Be private about. But so what is, Emily Sheppard, one of the most or one of the saddest moments of your life, and what did you take away from it?
Man.
Boom.
I tend to forget all the bad things.
That's good. That's a good thing. So I'm sorry if I'm digging up some graves here.
No, I'm just trying to think.
You can plead the fifth.
No, I really am want to give you that good answer. Saddest moments. Well, I can tell you what I'm thinking of. Yeah, this one I just haven't forgotten. But
okay.
We were at my uncle's wedding, and it was like we had gotten back to the hotel and my dad was really drunk at the bar and we were like sitting next to each other and just bantering and joking. And then he like looks over at me and he tells me, one day I'll tell you how depressed I really am. And then I was like, it just kind of hit me really heavily.
Whoa.
Yeah.
One day I'll tell you how depressed I really am.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
And how long ago was this again?
That was probably like 2 years ago.
Okay.
But
Jeez.
that was just like a different level of like, whoa, my strong man, like my father is just like, to hear some like him being unhappy was kind of sad.
Did you ever try to follow up with him on that? Why not?
I don't know. I guess I didn't want to hear the answer.
Do you know?
I think he's just similar to me.
Maybe you think it's one of those things that, he'll come to you when he's ready if he's ever to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could readdress it, but
why not? Right? I would, but I'm not. Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not you. We're way different people, 2 different lives, different universes. But the reason why I would is just because I feel like something like that is pretty heavy, and I don't like to try. I tried my best not to leave any stone unturned because you never want to wonder why, right? You don't want to be on your. And I'm not trying to give you a guilty conscience. Just so we're clear, I'm speaking for me specifically. I can't speak for anybody else. But like for me, I don't like if there's something like that comes up, I want to just face it. Get my hands dirty, get whatever it takes. Like no matter how I'm scared or whatever, because I don't want to like think back on it and regret. Like what if one day you're like laying in your deathbed and you sit there and wonder that, and what if that speaking to this person for whatever it is could be something that could be resolved, right? I feel like that's very important. This is why you accuse me of being a good conversationalist, because I'm pretty much the person that wears his heart on his sleeve for the most part. I have my own privacies and personal things that I keep inside, but like I feel like things. There's a quote, I don't remember what it was, but it was like it's better to have a uncomfortable conversation about conflict than a peaceful silence and harmony, because the peaceful silence and harmony does not create progression, and the conversation of conflict, if it be peaceful, does. You move forward, And so, that's how I look at it. So I'm not saying this is what you should do, but maybe it's just something you can think more about, or maybe not. I don't know. This is, it's your life. I'm not a professional also. I talk like this. These are my opinions. I'm not like anybody who tries to take advice from me, like just with a grain of salt, the smallest one, a microbe even. I'm just my opinions about it. Right.
Yeah.
So,
I think my family is the strongest rock I have in my life. Maybe
excellent.
The only rock I have.
That's
everything
beautiful.
else feels very like
kind of
unstructured, and like I don't necessarily have like a set career. I don't have like a college degree. I don't have like.
But you're so young, though. You're still so young.
Yeah, but I don't really plan to accomplish anything that's like secure in my life, and that's okay with me. But like, I don't want to pull apart the things that are secure. I guess that's why I haven't.
Maybe there's a way to find a happy medium, right? You just it's the things that you do in life. Like some people they keep trying to hit the same wall again, and you got to realize you could be like, oh, I can't get through this wall. That's impossible. Or you can be like, maybe there's another way, and you dig a hole underneath the wall, or you climb over the top, or you travel 1,000 miles east to go around it. But there's a way around. It's like just trying to find it, right? Like nothing is essentially impossible, right? Other people are doing that's what I try to tell people. Like somebody else right now is doing what you're doing that you're saying you can't do, right? If it's within the realms of reality, they're doing what you're saying you can't do. Like I hate the people that come up and they just say, I don't hate them, but I hate hearing them say, oh, I can't, I tried, I can't do this. And I was like, well, how many times did you try? Well, I tried this once and I messed up. Well, did you try again? No. Or they're like, oh, I've tried 1,000 times. Did you try like 1,000 times? Did you? I don't think you tried 1,000 times. You probably tried a couple times and you couldn't do it and you gave up. And too many people do that. And that's why people don't go forward with anything in life. Anything they're doing. Work, life, relationships, what have you. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like a little tenacity also goes a long way, like optimism.
Yeah. That's definitely something I would like to work on in the future that I've thought about, is just making my relationships with the people I love deeper, especially my family. Like my dad and I aren't the closest.
Is that something that bugs you think? A little bit? Kinda?
He's a really awesome man, so I wish that we were closer.
Well, maybe that's something you can work on.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't
Definitely.
know.
Yeah. I laid up all night one night writing about, if all these people I love died, how many regrets I would have, like the way I'm spending my time and the relationship I'm not forming with them and the memories I'm not making with them.
Things unsaid and undone.
But I definitely meditated on that for a long time.
That's
and
good.
He was like the one person I was like, whoa.
Maybe that's a sign, man. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Like I said, I'm not an expert. This is my opinion.
I never call people when I'm thinking about them, or, don't text them. It's kind of like sit there and like, I'm thinking about you.
All right, Emily, there's a second half to this question.
Okay.
What is one of the most joyous, happiest moments of your life? And what do you take away from that?
Oh, wow. These are hard questions.
Hey, I asked I'm hardball. Move over Barbara Walters at 2020. Mitchell Lane from Birmingham is coming after you.
Happiest moment of my life.
Some people say that happiness is just
every moment of my life.
Every moment of your life. What a cop-out answer. This episode's over. Thank you for watching, ladies and gents.
I don't know. Gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I had a cinnamon roll today.
Hey, sometimes it's the little things in life,
It really is the little things.
It really is.
The little sad things, the little happy things.
Come on, there's got to be something
really
that specifically stands out. Like, I'll tell you mine real quick. Well, it's not like the number. It's one of the happiest, most joyous moments in my life. And it's something very simple. X amount of years ago, one of my nephews, my second oldest sister, boy was having a birthday party. It was in the summer. And then all of her sons, my nephews and stuff, they're like no older than like 10 years old. So like 10, 9, 5, And then I had other nephews and nieces around kind of in that age range and younger. And it was in the summer. So the theme was like he wanted water guns and water balloons and all that stuff. And so she made these little care packages for everybody. Had a big party at her house. And the kids like started filling the water up and like shooting each other, and their mom was like, "Hey, don't do that! Don't shoot the water! You're gonna get water everywhere!" And they didn't listen, and they started doing it. And then the adults slowly started doing it. Like our late uncle, he was like hiding in the corner, like shooting the kids in the eyes. And then my brother's wife was like super mischievous, and she like hit him in the head with a water balloon. And then it just all and here's what's so funny. To give you a play-by-play of my family, they're not the people that do this. They don't do fun, silly, childish, immature things like this. They don't do it. But everybody, it was like a food fight, and like everybody's just going. And that's what happened. Everybody was shooting each other with water guns. And this sounds like super, super corny, but like I remember, like I stood back outside of this for a second. And at the time I was like a teenager, right? I was probably like 16, I guess. Yeah, I was just driving. And I was watching it. And it's almost like in the movie where you see that scene that the music is crescendoing and it's all going in slow motion, And I was watching these adults run around and like my brother's like shooting behind the thing and at his wife, and my mom's like yelling at everybody, and my sisters are laughing and like dumping water down her boyfriend's pants, and I was just watching all this, and I was like, man, this is a really fucking beautiful moment. Pardon my French. This is a beautiful moment. It's like one of the most beautiful moments I've ever witnessed. When I'm on my deathbed one day, if that's something that happens to me, that memory is something that I'll sit and think about. I swear to God, like over anything else, I could win like $1 million. That memory is the one that I would think about.
Wow.
What's yours?
Honestly, this whole past year, like moving, I don't know, childhood was great. My whole life's been great, honestly. I can't complain.
Good.
But really making the decision to leave my jobs and like stop going to school and just move here and just like do it. That actually working out felt really crazy. And that was probably like the highlight of my life was just, you know, like I got my own place, I moved here and I just did it because I wanted to. And I just kind of left like all of my like, you know, all these notions that I thought I had to fit into these boxes. And then I was just like, no, I don't want to. And yeah, so like just this time period has been really like joyous, but it's a good time.
What's really great is like you have a lot of opportunity. I mean, everybody does if they're still living, opportunities to make more of those moments.
Yeah.
So that's what's
is
wonderful.
The reason I get up in the morning. I get really excited about like what else could happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Life's this big adventure. Mom always said life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're going to get.
So before I sign this bad boy off, Emily Sheppard, this is a new thing that I'm going to debut on you. So if you would humor me and play along, if you don't mind, I would like for you to close your eyes and just listen to the sound of my voice. And I'm going to ask you to do something for me. I want you to envision, if you would, please, ma'am, what a perfect world for you looks like the world that you dream of in your dreams, where everything is working in this great order and you're ultimately happy and you have all the desires of your heart and your soul. And I want you to envision, while your eyes are closed, opening your eyes, but it's not a dream. Like this is actually reality. What does that world look like? Tell us.
Okay. Can I open my eyes or should I stay closed?
Stay close.
Okay. I am in the middle of nowhere and I'm in a giant field and the grass is beautiful and there's mountains around me and like 70 degrees and there's flowers in the field and I have like more than 10 children. Yeah. And they're just like going crazy barefoot, like playing in the mud and it's just a fun time. And that's actually the dream, just to be out there and like kind of homestead, really peaceful, just nature, lots of kids.
You can open your eyes now.
Okay.
That son of a bitch. That was beautiful. That was awesome. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
And that was a really beautiful, and because it was very simple. It wasn't, you weren't like, I want this like 5-story cabin over a waterfall or something. It was like just you in a field and you have all these kids. You want a lot of kids, man. Jeez. Jim, you ready for that, bro? This is so awesome. Thank you so much.
They're all climbing rocks.
They're all climbing rocks. Yeah. They're all these little in their diapers and they're like, that's awesome. Emily, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, this was awesome.
If there's anything that you'd like to plug in, social media or what you're climbing, like you can do that now if you like to or not. We can just sign this bad boy off. So.
I think my Instagram. Oh, let me tell me my Venmo. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, do it. We'll give our Venmo out right now.
My Instagram is Emily R. Sheppard, I think. That's like all I got.
Emily R. Sheppard. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
You enjoyed yourself and got something out of this. I definitely got something out of this.
Yeah,
I learned a lot. I love having new people on here. I learned so much. It's adding to this bank of fortitude. So hopefully it can take me somewhere and buy me something nice. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode today with Emily Sheppard coming on and talking about her climbing. Climbing is like a metaphor. It's like, what are you running away from? It's treacherous down below. No, I'm just messing around. She's talking about how she climbs and she's just an adventurous, free-spirited person. I know that's probably cliche to say because I'm sure you've heard that so many times before, but it's true. You are. You're very you let your hair flow in the wind type of person. That's really awesome. I love that. I love the freedom that it's a drug to me. to not only do it, but see people doing it. That's, it gets me high, man. It makes me feel good about life. And it's really important. For people wondering about us specifically, check out our audio streams, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Leave us a review. It helps us show up in more algorithms so we can spread our content out there and, let people see what people are fighting and struggling with in their own communities and society and their next door neighbors and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. For the video content, go to YouTube, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content we release once a week. Or I guess technically twice, audio Tuesdays, video Wednesdays. I want to ask people, like, anybody listening, like, is there stuff, do you feel like there's any stones unturned in your life? Something that you don't want to address because it's uncomfortable or you're fearful of it or you just don't know what to do or you think, like, I don't know, it makes somebody else uncomfortable. But you also feel like this is something that if you were on your deathbed, that you would sit back and wonder about. Like, man, should I have had that conversation? Should I have made that phone call? Should I have visited so-and-so? And if you have that in your life, I mean, how do you address it? What do you think you should? What do you think's the best course? Because the worst thing you can do is live in life with regret, I think. That is a huge milestone around your neck, I feel like. It is for me anyways. Like I said, I can't speak for anybody. These are just my opinions, but I feel like it's really important. And what about your consistency and the way you look at yourself and treat yourself? How's that look? I hope people got something really awesome out of this episode. I know I did, and I really appreciate Emily for coming on and being on the show. What do you wrestle with, and how can you beat it? One love.